and we are all set. We are going to go live to my man, Q92 Radio Sports, high school football analyst, Antonio Hall, joining us here on the Sam Bourquin Show. Antonio, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Sam. How about you?
I'm good. I'm fired up, but we still got a couple days before we play a little football. Hey, I got to ask you, I meant to reach out to you before, and I forgot, as I tend to do with a lot of things now. But when we bring you on Thursday or on Wednesday afternoons, we got to get you a little theme song. We got a cool little overlay behind you as you come on the screen right now. But what's one of your go-to songs we need to walk you up with?
Man, I think, I was just jamming to this when I was on the elliptical. I think The Last Dragon theme song from the movie The Last Dragon is a perfect segue for me.
The Last Dragon. All right. I got that down, and my producer will make sure we got that on as we bring in here on Wednesday's Moving Farm. I'm thinking my guy's got to have a walk-up song, so we're going to do that for you. The Last Dragon. That's awesome. All right, man. Hey. How much fun did you have last Friday putting the headsets on and doing a little radio for us? What was that like?
Oh, man, it was amazing. It was amazing. But before we get into that, I got to keep things in perspective. I don't know if that's the coach in me or the dad in me, but, first got to give glory to God that, Brock Bourquin from Central Catholic, seems to be that he's going to be okay.
Yes.
Big scare for us, Sam, I know for you. So great news that, it seems like he's going to be okay. But there is a young man from Tusky Valley, Mason White, 15-year-old football player, paralyzed. And as a dad of three boys who played this game, as a surrogate dad of dozens, if not hundreds of other guys who played this game, you can't help but to take this hard. And so we as a football community need to do everything we can to support this young man, to support his family. They have a fundraiser. It's fashionablyflawless.shop.mason/white fundraiser. I'm going to share on all my social media feeds.
Okay.
Please support this young man. My company, Fedora Football, is going to pledge $500 to the young man. I'm challenging all the other businesses in the area to support this young man and his family. But above all else, he needs prayer. So if you're a prayer daddy like me and you believe, you need to be sending your thoughts and prayers out to this young man and his family.
Absolutely, because, man, sometimes life just takes a crazy turn when you least expect it, and our thoughts and prayers with Mason, the Tusky Valley family, the football family, the community, and everybody. I appreciate you bringing that up, and maybe I'll get that information off of you, and I can help you repost and share, and we can get that word out and get some positive vibes going for the young man at Tusky Valley. So I appreciate you doing that, Coach and Dad Antonio Hall. All right. So the football last weekend, it was our first week, and you had Jackson Chardon, and I come to find out a couple hours before the game that Jackson's going to be without their starting quarterback. And what do? They go out and play the heck of a game that night.
I cannot believe how well that young man looked. Carter Mulliman, his name should be Mullen Money because this dude was dropping dimes all night. He comes out first class. He drops a 40-yard dot right in the breadbasket, touchdown. He was accurate. He was poised. He looked like he was the 4-year starter back there. And so to be a guy who's an underclassman, to learn in fourth period that you got the nod tonight, he went out there and surpassed all expectations. So I'm a big Mulliman fan. I think he can start at any other school in Stark County right now.
Wow, high praise coming from Coach Antonio Hall there, and I'll tell you what, we'll take that to the bank every night. So, what were your overall thoughts on Jackson? They lost like 42 seniors from a year ago, but Jay Rohr has really got his stamp on that program, and they're getting numbers now. The youth football, it seems like it's translating. Antonio, what did you see overall from the Bears?
I saw a great football family. I saw coaches engage with their players. I saw players engage with their coaches. I saw guys playing for each other. I mean, one of the things that was the most remarkable to me as I'm interviewing Mulliman after the game, he had nothing but praise for his teammates and his coaches. He didn't talk about himself. He talked about, I'm doing this for my guys. I had to step up. I know they got my back. I got theirs. They got something special right now brewing in Jackson. The defense haven't missed a beat. I mean, they lost, the total defensive line. Their two middle linebackers were the heart and soul of the team last year. But these dudes are running to the football, great pursuit, and they're putting bodies on bodies. So I'm really high on Jackson right now.
Yeah, they looked really, really good. A couple of other games I want to kind of pick your brain on a little bit. Massillon, Glenville, man, you talk about a way to open up a season. Overtime and Paul Brown. 33-27, back and forth, high quality football. What was your takeaway from the Tigers, even though they went down to a really good Glenville team?
That field was full of dudes, right? On both sidelines, both sides of the ball. You saw really great football. Of course, you saw a lot of first week mistakes with penalties and what have you. But at the end of the day, you saw guys challenging each other. You saw guys picking each other up. You saw guys laying on the line for their teammates. Everything you want to see under Friday Night Lights. And just to be able to see the highlights that people were posting and to watch some of the playback, man, I missed a banger last Friday.
It was unbelievable, man. The crowd, the environment at Paul. I mean, it was nuts. And Coach Ginn does such a great job up at Glenville, has for many, many years. And Coach Nate, I know you're really fond of Coach Moore of Massillon.
Yep.
What a matchup of just X's and O's and coaching and philosophy. Never mind all the talent running around on the field last Friday night.
Exactly. I mean, I have great admiration and great respect, with both head coaches. Coach Ginn has helped me tremendously in my career, as well as, Coach Nate. And just to see the magnitude of what they built, right? Just to see the programs where they stand and the quality of young men they're producing, let alone football players, but the quality of young men they're producing. Because at the end of the day, as a high school football coach, that's what it's about. And, when you see Coach Ginn's guys walk out 4 deep across, and I'm talking about they're looking straight ahead and no one's, looking around, no one's saying nothing. I mean, these dudes are laser focused. And when they hit the field, they play laser focused. So it was very exciting to see. Hats off to both coaches, both programs. Both going to have great seasons this year.
Antonio Hall is our guest, Q92 Sports, doing a great job as one of our color analysts on our high school football coverage this year in 2025. Hey, real quick, tell us a little bit about Fedora hats before we keep this conversation rolling.
Yeah, so Fedora football, it's a lifestyle brand. Fedora football is built on the virtues of the iconic coaches who built great men, great teams, great communities. Guys like our local Paul Brown, Earl Bruce, Vince Lombardi, Tom Landry, Eddie Robinson down at Grambling. These guys were about brotherhood, sisterhood, commitment to competition, accountability, toughness, loyalty, and love, which are all our virtues. We're built on brotherhood. We service coaches and football teams in the area. We're a team dealer, but our brand is Fedora football. And we're proud of that brand. When you wear the fedora, you're holding yourself to a certain standard, and you're letting people know you're about something bigger than yourself.
All right, Fedora Football. Check it out on your social media platforms. Antonio Hall is our guest here on 1310 WDPN. All right, got to ask you about the Dogs. They went over to Warren and put a little whooping on the Raiders on Friday night, and they had some big plays. They made some big plays defensively. They had some big chunk plays on offense.
Yep.
What were your thoughts on MCK week 1?
Man, I've been knowing Coach Renzi Parnell probably for almost 10 years. He's actually real good friends with Mike Dawson. Everybody knows Mike Dawson's my brother. So just getting to know him over the years, his philosophy, how he treats young men, how he molds young men. I love to see what he's doing with the McKinley program. There's still a lot of my guys on staff there from last year, great quality men, great quality coaches. And, the players that they seem to have a bond this year, a bond that you want to see take the field every Friday night. And to go up there week 1 and a hostile Warren crowd and to win big, they set the stage for a great football season.
They sure did. So the rest of the couple of big games this weekend, we got Medina Hoover. Vikings looking to start 2-0. Perry and St. Vincent St. Mary. That's your game. You and Keller are going to be over there in the PTO. It'll be the home opener for the Panthers under new coach Spencer Lino. They picked up a win week 1 against Canton Central, 41-14. Antonio, it looks like St. V could be a little down this year. They got whooped pretty good by Nordonia, 42-0 a week ago. But the Irish have got a little tradition up there in the football field. But what's your quick take on Perry and St. Vincent St. Mary?
Well, I'm obviously going to lean a little towards Perry. I'm biased because, one of my brothers in arms, Matt Leisure's the offensive line coach. Oh, yeah. Probably the best offensive line coach in the area. And I know how he gets his guys ready. There's no offensive line coach better to get his guys ready than Coach Leisure. Tremendous respect for Coach Lino and his dad, who's been a coach in Stark County for many, many years. I just think that they have the right guy. Their offense is a lot more opened up. I know you're getting away from that wing tee now. I'm excited to see them and analyze them and broadcast them live.
Being a coach, and I may have touched upon this with you last week, I'm not sure, but there's the old adage of in high school football especially, you see your biggest jump, your biggest improvement from week 1 in week 2. Is that kind of still the standard? And not to say that you can't get better 3 through 10, but why is it between 1 and 2 where you see that big jump?
I think because you get into game flow. Not only on the field, but your operation. In week 1, you see a lot of substitution debacles where, you only have 10 guys on the field or have 12 guys on the field because you substituting packages or guys are cramping up because it's early in the season and figuring out, your substitutions and rotations. You saw a lot of penalties in the Fairless game because they do a lot of motioning to identify coverages and also to outflank people at the point of attack. And so, there was some procedural because you got a couple guys in motion or guys aren't getting set. It's just little nuances like that you have to iron out in real time against real competition. And I think that's where you see the biggest jump. It's not so much as the X's and O's, but in the operation of the game.
Antonio Hall is our guest, talking ball with Hall, AM 1310 WDPN, baby, here on the Sam Bourquin Show. Antonio will be with Keller Friday night from Perry as the Panthers take on St. Vincent St. Mary. It's week 2 of the high school football. We mentioned the cramping. I don't know how many guys you had that cramped up last weekend, but I had, I don't know, 50 on Friday night with Lawrenceville and Marlington. I don't think these guys drank water for a week. But so what is the best way to combat that? Obviously, you have to start hydrating days in advance, right?
Yeah, and we're talking about 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, and you can talk to your blue in the face. But at the end of the day, they have to be putting the right stuff into their bodies 72 hours before the game. They have to be getting the right rest, loading up on electrolytes, Pedialytes, bananas, pickle juice, liquid IVs, anything you can think of, right? And so it's really just comes about being disciplined. I know for me and McKinley, we come out week 1 and all these pretty boys want to have the high socks. I'm like, it's 90 damn degrees. If you don't take them socks off, I'm gonna cut them off. And so there's a lot of factors to it. But at the end of the day, you're getting used to playing at a high level for 4 quarters because, most everybody only plays a half of football in their preview. So they're not used to going hard for 4 quarters. So, there's that factor to play into it as well. But first couple of weeks, you always see it. It's inevitable.
Hey, when you played for McKinley, would you remember the hottest game you ever played in high school?
I think the hottest game was actually our scrimmage at Steubenville. It was my sophomore year, the year we won the national championship, and it was just ungodly hot. And we played like crap. And Coach McD made us take off our helmets, take off our shoulder pads, and he made us do 110s on their field in front of their fans before we got on the bus. But that was the most hottest I've ever been in my life, other than playing in the SEC. That was the hottest I've ever been in high school.
Yeah, it's a little hot down there in Kentucky too.
All
right, my man. Well, I'll tell you what. Hey, how about the lows are going to be in the upper 40s this weekend? So it should be a beautiful night for football Friday night, and can't wait to see what you guys come up with Perry and St. Vincent St. Mary. You can catch Antonio and Keller on the stream at Q92radiosports.com. Big fella, always a pleasure. Best of luck, Fedora Football. Make sure you guys check that out, and we'll regather here again a week from today, same time. How's that sound?
Sounds great, brother. Looking forward to it.
You got it. Thank you, sir. Antonio Hall here on the Sam Bourquin Show, AM 1310 WDPN.